Welcome back, Culturians, and in today's tale of toxic upheaval and nature healing itself, we're going to find our way back to the shaky, uncertain world of propaganda news broadcasting and the limited employment options that are, starting to, disappear. Today shines a stark spotlight on CNN and the winds of change over at that organization that are blowing so very strongly that the creator and corrupter of the 24 news cycle pumper is, perhaps going out of business. Maybe not quite that bad. But what does that all mean? Well, the reality is threatening to uproot the more familiar faces and reshape the network's daily offerings more so than it has in the last 2 years. Or maybe I should say the last 2 months. And the people who helped oust Chris Licht from his position of authority may be longing for those days right now. Yet there is something shocking here, and it's approaching very quickly at the once great news outlet. A sacrifice of, let's say, some once sacred cows. The news personalities that were thought to be beyond the chopping block. And let me just say this, I'm here for that. Buckle up, campers. This winter is about to get bitter cold for some, and, the water is colder still. Here we go. So today's scene opens resting on a distant bluff, a butte, with 3 figures huddled for warmth. And they're rather animated. Yet they seem to be engaged in meaningless conversation, so they're easily recognizable. You have Anderson Cooper, Chris Wallace, and Wolf Blitzer. Of course, Jake Tapper's there as well, but he looks like the person that they're using for a table at this point in time. These are considered the stalwarts of CNN's lineup. They are collectively fixing their gaze in front of them on a chopping block. And it looks like, I thought they were using Tapper as a table, but maybe they're pushing him to the front of the line. Whatever it is, that block could certainly be called next into action for any one of their jobs. And reports, of course, are now swirling. They're whispers that abound. And the specter of even more layoffs is looming large at CNN. I mean, this is just all a fancy way of saying that the last meeting that was held in London just a few weeks ago was an indicator of substantial change across, all of CNN, including everything international, which isn't good news for a lot of these talking heads. Some people have gone on to describe it a seismic shift in the entire media landscape, in particular for news. And it sounds like everybody that's there is looking for a chair to land in when the music stops playing. This is going to happen soon, and supposedly often. So 2024 will be worse than 2023. But why another sudden shakeup? Well, the answer actually lies in the balance sheets. There's no more money. The current exorbitant salaries clash with the imperative financial prudence that needs to be paid to this organization. So it seems very easy to start with somebody like Anderson Cooper and his $20 million paycheck, or perhaps Chris Wallace's $8 million payday, along with Wolf Blitzer's $15 million tab. That does pay for a little more than the bar. And then finally, who knows or cares what Tapper makes? He's just expendable. And all these figures, not the financial ones, just loom large at CNN because they are a substantial amount of fiscal responsibility that doesn't seem to be doing much. And we'll get to that in just a second. Because it actually goes without saying that these hosts certainly don't deliver their audience. And they certainly don't deliver an audience in a way that would demand these wages. And right now, every single penny is counting, especially since they brought in a new guy to start counting them. Even the biggest names out there, and more correctly, especially these big names, have the biggest dollar signs. And they will definitely find themselves on the most uncertain ground. This is business at its purest form, and hopefully they have that perspective, rightfully so. As whispers of a much broader scope to these layoffs is echoing around the hollowed halls of CNN, the digital frontier continues to emerge for them. And with traditional television facing mounting challenges and the linear audience aging out, the network seeks to pivot towards a digital-first model, an approach that they can utilize maybe some of these established anchors, and they could find refuge there, but the shifting sands of media consumption don't suggest that. And I use the word might very carefully, and there's no current Gen Z is rapidly rejecting any ideology being pumped at them by the mainstream, so it's more than just technology. It's the manipulation that they're actually ignoring, casting away. And for CNN, it's a bold gambit to pivot into an area that requires adaptability as the currency of its very survival. Can they even adapt to a world where they have to tell the truth for a change? Let's say that I, for one, have my doubts. And what does this mean for the future of news broadcasting? Will CNN's pivot even harder into the digital prove to be a savvy move or a desperate bid for relevance? Every other news organization is going to be paying attention. And don't forget that they tried this before, only to throw the entire thing away a month later. So once again, as the network charts a different course, one that seems to be uncharted, will the old sea dogs be tossed overboard? My guess is it's likely, given their lack of adaptability of late. They really only have one song and dance. But at long last, amidst the turmoil that they're involved in right now, CEO Mark Thompson has unveiled a 5-part plan to navigate CNN through these stormy seas. I wonder if that was better than the 6-part plan that he may have come up with. I mean, it's shorter, it's got one less part, and that will make it less complicated, right? Why not a 7-part plan, an 8-part plan? I mean, the keystones are all there, from building a digital future to future-proofing the television production itself. The roadmap promises some bold initiatives aimed at securing CNN's foothold in a rapidly evolving media landscape, even if all the details that were incredibly vague and nebulous. But amidst all that grand rhetoric, skepticism continues to linger. Is this actually a genuine path forward, or merely another beautifully dressed facade to appease anxious stakeholders? And in other words, is CNN trying to pull a Disney with lots of pomps, but little of circumstance? Maybe. But of course, let's face it, CNN's real problem is charting a course towards sustainable growth, for actually any kind of growth. The network has been on a losing streak since their favorite orange man left town, and chasing him around recently hasn't really netted any interest either. In fact, it kind of looks like they're a bully. It also makes them look like they're complicit with the government, who's also a bully. Now, investors continue to press for real results, not merely rearranging the deck chairs on the ship. Of course, the ship is sinking, and with that ever-encroaching iceberg in front of them, the internal tensions simmer like a boiler inside a steamship, and the external pressures are starting to mount. And this particular paddle wheeler may not be able to change course or even throw it in reverse. One thing's for sure, if you're Wolf, Anderson, Wallace, or Tapper, you better hope your life vest is working and be prepared for some bitterly cold water. Now, there are some other costs anytime anything like this. Behind the scenes, there's a human toll of restructuring. It is painfully clear that employees need to brace for diminished salaries, absent bonuses, and potentially a pink slip along the way. This is a stark reminder of the harsh realities of the corporate upheaval that all the news organizations are suffering from right now. And this corporation in particular, who really strayed far, far away from any actual, real, truthful news. So as this network as a whole, and the news industry abroad, are navigating these choppy waters, I would like to put you in the pilot seat, at least for CNN. So, will CNN see another round of significant layoffs as we presume? Will the balloon-headed talent at the top be let go to float away? And will common sense return along with some real news and reporting? These are good questions, all I think. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Oh, and before you leave, hit that like button on the way out. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others. And until next time, see ya.